is doing Playhouse Square on Friday, February the 17th. It's not far off. PlayhouseSquare.com. We'll have all the details you need on tickets, info, all that. This pair of tickets for you, be caller 10, and you'll get there. Good luck. 216-578-1007 or 800-348-1007.
Welcome to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Forget the Rock Hall. When does Poundcake go into the Country Hall of Fame?
My truck, my beer, my guns. Say it again.
It's the Alan Cox Show
on 100.7 WMMS.
Another $1,000 for you. About 5 or 6 minutes. 3:30. Next chance for you to go fund yourself. And again, I mentioned it yesterday, but it bears repeating. Do not text me the keywords because you're wasting them, and I don't want you to waste an opportunity to get some of this money. They tell you in the thing the number to which you text that keyword, and invariably people will send it to me in here. Don't do that. There would simply be no way to know if you could have been the winner, but why take that chance? If you do win, you get a phone call. So the next word here in a few minutes. Cavaliers off the last couple of nights after that win over the Bucks. They beat Milwaukee pretty handily on Saturday night. They're playing the Knicks in New York tonight. They're on the road this week. They go to Houston, they go to Oklahoma City, come back here to host the Clippers on Sunday. But Cavs-Knicks, 7:30 tonight here on MMS. Remember, all this month at CLE Clothing Company, if you want to get yourself some new gear, whether it's retro Buzzard merch or everything in between, you have until the end of the month. That is 1 week from today. Will already be the end of January. Use the promo code ANEW for 20% off. And then we'll see if they took me seriously when I said I wanted to start picking the words again. My money is on. No. Is there a FanDuel prop bet for that? I wonder on whether or not I get to start picking I'll bet the under. So Cavs-Knicks, tonight. Who do they have? Jamarcus, who's on the Knicks?
I don't think there's a Jamarcus.
Every team has a Jamarcus.
Mm-hmm.
Knicks starters. Ooh, Buffalo Wings. Julius Randle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that who you were thinking of?
I don't know. There wasn't one marquee name that came to mind when it came to the New York Knicks. I guess I should know. Jalen Brunson?
He was a big offseason acquisition.
All right, then.
They got him from Dallas.
All right, sir.
And then they got
Quentin Grimes, Evan Fournier. Fournier. So anyway, that's tonight. If you're a displaced Knickerbockers fan, you'll get to hear them play the Cleveland Cavaliers tonight. You might not recognize this actor by name. You might recognize him by face. A British actor named Julian Sands. He was a big deal back in the 80s and the 90s. He did a series of kind of fun movies called Warlock, and they had a couple of sequels. He was in a wild movie called Boxing Helena about 30 years ago. He was in Arachnophobia. He was in Leaving Las Vegas. And he is missing. He went hiking 11 days ago while those big storms were going through California. Out on Mount Baldy, there is another hiker that is being looked for now too. But Julian Sands, since he's a famous actor, was getting the lion's share of the press. But they're searching for 2 people who have gone missing on a hike on Mount Baldy. 75-year-old Asian man named Jin Chung and actor Julian Sands.
Mary, if you want to make a name for yourself while you're out there, go find these men.
I'll do my best.
Will you?
No. I'm going on a hike tomorrow morning.
Yeah, bright and early.
I don't know if they'll be there.
Okay.
I feel like I'm hiking at the Griffith Observatory.
Yeah, sure.
So I feel like they would have been found already if they were there.
It's in the city. Yeah, I think that you would have, yeah. I think they probably would have been found. I think after 11 days when your family's like, yeah, we're still looking for it. I mean, Mount Baldy is way out there. You couldn't get out there. You're in Hollywood.
Yeah.
That's a good hour out.
Nothing.
So, no, you can't get out there. And ironically, it's called Mount Baldy. Why? It's got a lot of hair on it. So anyway, this guy has been missing. I can't imagine after 11 days and nobody hears from him that they're holding out hope. But I'm fascinated, by the way, by the people who climb Mount Everest. And along the way, there are frozen bodies of hikers that have been there for decades. And people who climb the mountain, or I guess any mountain close to that height, where people have frozen to death along the way, because they can't bring them down. They stay there, and they're still dressed in what they were dressed in. You know, they got up there in the 80s. A lot of them are in, like, day glow parkas and crap. But the bodies, obviously, because it's so cold up there, are pretty well preserved. But the climbers use them as markers. Like, oh, this is green guy. That means we're 13,000 feet up, or whatever it is.
Tim.
We made it to Tim, right. That would be pretty wild. Julian Sands lives in North Hollywood, and he has not been located.
There's one more reason that I'm team inside.
To never hike. Have you seen the trailer for The Reluctant Traveler?
No.
It's Eugene Levy doing a travel show. It's going to premiere end of next month on Apple TV. And it's like that Will Smith thing, except he's not going 20,000 leagues under the sea. I think it's way less daring than the Will Smith thing. But Eugene Levy is like a guy who's like, I don't like going outside. I like to be inside. But it's a travel show where he goes to, like, the desert, or he's in a helicopter, you know.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think it looks very entertaining. It's clearly trying to be more on the comedic side than on the action-packed side. Obviously, more Eugene Levy's wheelhouse, but I think that looks very entertaining. For people who like Eugene Levy, and I think we all do, that'll premiere on Apple TV next month. But they have not found Julian Sands yet. You watch any of the video of the Lisa Marie Presley Memorial?
No, sir.
I didn't realize there are a lot of celebrities at this thing.
Well, yeah.
She was the princess of rock and roll. Isn't that what she would be considered?
Yeah, I mean, she was Priscilla and Elvis's only
I was going to say, is that
kid, right? Only daughter. I mean, but I don't know. I didn't realize that, like, Axl was there and Alanis Morissette and Billy Corgan, like, they're all speaking and crying. And
Is that a title that gets inherited, or do you have to earn that because of, like, your accolades?
What title?
Like, when you get the title of King of Pop, King of Rock and Roll, like, if you have a kid, are you then, like, Paris Jackson isn't the princess of pop because her dad was Michael Jackson, right?
But it's not actual royalty. That's like a media name.
I understand
Yeah.
that. So, but would people consider her a princess, like the?
I've never heard that.
Okay, this is just again as someone who's a big fan of pop culture. I feel like if I saw her, I'm like, oh, that's.
I mean, if
Elvis's
she was descended from actual royalty, there would obviously be titles and accolades. But I mean, they just called Elvis the king of rock and roll, much to the chagrin of every black artist who preceded him and from whom he stole most of his songs. But no, I don't know that she has any actual royalty title given to her.
Okay. Just was curious.
They had the ceremony at Graceland. Baz Luhrmann was there. He just directed Elvis, of course, that movie.
Got nominated for an Oscar.
Yeah.
The movie did. I don't know if he got nominated for Best Director.
I don't think that he did.
I don't think so either.
Axl performed November Rain on the piano. He was very, very upset. I guess he was pretty tight with Lisa Marie.
I knew if I was invited, I needed to come to these ceremonies. I hadn't planned on speaking, and when I was put on the spot, I really didn't know what to say, and I was tongue-tied and nervous, and I don't even really know what I said. But as I'm sure many of you are still in shock, as I feel I'll continue to be for quite some time.
And then he said, "You know where you are? You're at a funeral, baby! Somebody died! Knees!" Billy Corgan performed. Alanis Morissette performed. And pretty wild.
I always think about getting ready for a funeral being very, like, do you want to look good or do you want to look presentable? Like, you're not
What's the difference?
Presentable is just like, just not drawing attention
Put
to
on
yourself.
your good. Oh, I see.
Like,
You
not-
want to blend in.
You don't want to look hot. Like, you don't want to put your makeup on and be like, all right, do I look okay? Like, do I look good? Like, I don't think
Well,
anyone
everybody's
wants
wearing black. I don't know that anybody gets glammed up. I think you're right. I think you just kind of you're subdued.
But I think these celebrities, if you go to a place like that, like, there's going to be tons of cameras. You're like, I'm going to wear, maybe I'll wear, it's going to be a black skirt, but it might be hiked up a bit. And, I'm going to wear a corset.
Are people showing thigh at a funeral? Is that what you're saying?
I'm sure they might.
Well, maybe it's someone who was
There might be some funeral crashers.
music royalty. I don't know. I love the, speaking of Axl Rose, and I don't know why it made the rounds again, but I do love the old Guns N' Roses riders. Every so often, those will pop up and make the rounds. Back in the day, bands and artists have a rider, and it's things that the venue or the promoter have to have in the dressing room. And they're always very specific. The famous story about Van Halen with the no brown M&Ms, that was just so they could see if people were actually reading the rider. They didn't care about the M&Ms. They wanted to know if people were actually reading it or not. And so if they came through and there were brown M&Ms, they knew that nobody had read the rider all the way through. But Guns N' Roses, for all their partying ways, they wanted lots of deli meats backstage. They wanted bags of Ruffles chips. They wanted assorted candy bars is what they wanted. And assorted store-bought cookies and bottles of Jaeger, Natch. But they'd also want a bag of dried fruit. And you have to wonder if any one of these would have thrown someone off. They trash a dressing room, not because they ran out of vodka, but because they asked for unsalted cashews.
It's a big difference.
And you guys gave me cashews. And so as a result, I'm going to destroy this place. Because I asked for light cranberry juice. I did not ask for full sugar cranberry juice. I asked for Dunhill cigarettes. Have you seen Kevin Hart's rider, by the way? That one I think is brand new and really making the rounds.
I haven't seen that one. I had one
Oh, boy.
a couple months ago, and all I asked for specifically was one of those pens that when you hold it upside down, the ladies' clothes come off.
Of course.
And they had it for me.
Yep.
Wow. Where'd they find that? 1984?
Amazon. I forgot that I asked for it, so when I got there and they had it, I was like, oh, yes, this is awesome. And then my friend Joe that was with me, he had never seen one of those, and he was surprised that they'd been around for such a long time.
Since they have.
Yeah.
Let me give you money here. It's $1,000 to go fund yourself. Good luck.
The Buzzard wants you to go fund yourself and score $1,000. Enter the nationwide keyword BANK at WMMS.com. That's BANK. Enter it now at WMMS.com. And good luck from Buzzard Radio.
Kevin Hart's rider is 46 pages long. by the way.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
What are some of the highlights?
These are crazy. I don't know if this is, I'm on smokinggun.com.
Mr. Hart's drinks, Mr. Hart's alcohol, his hot food, his snacks, very important. He needs a very specific kind of Listerine mouthwash. He needs man-scented candles. He needs Vaseline lip therapy in the original flavor.
What's man-scented candles?
Who knows? And his only acceptable stool is a 29-inch tall, very specific brand of four-legged stool. And any substitutions will not be accepted. I wonder at what point in your
tool.
Yeah, I wonder at what point in your career you get to the point where you have, and I think a lot of times the artist is like, I don't write this thing. My management writes this. I don't care. They don't want any police officers backstage or in other areas of the venue.
Makes him feel uncomfortable.
But he does need a police escort. Under no circumstances are vehicles to be allowed to encounter delays due to traffic and no media passes. But he has very specific things that he wants. Chicken entree, boneless for 10 people. A lot of dessert roll or dinner rolls, salad bar. Everything has to be ready at 6 p.m. A lot of snacks in there. Yeah, nacho cheese Doritos, iPhone chargers, deck of cards. In case we want to sit around playing cards. Skinny pop popcorn. So by the time you get to 46 pages of Backstage Rider, you're just throwing things against the wall because somebody has to get all this stuff for you.
Dude, I mean, the one I'm reading, the liquor alone is like 8 bottles of Ciroc.
Yeah.
2 peach, 2 coconut, 2 amaretto, 2 pineapple, 2 bottles of Patron, 2 bottles of Rosé, 2 bottles of Douce. Like, that's so much alcohol.
Well, he's going to be back there.
He's
with
got
the
a big
cool
entourage, and he's got, do you see the part about the 5 females ages 21 to 27 with athletic, sexy build?
Stop
Who are
it.
approachable. No, it says that,
Yeah.
like
They must
friendly
be
and approachable.
Go-getters and be very approachable, attractive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I'm approachably attractive. You think I could be back there?
So are these?
Approachably hot.
So
Is that
are,
what, that's what he means, right?
I mean,
Yeah.
size up to
a
medium.
confident 6?
so my question is, are these escorts or are these people people just found?
They're to do like chores around. So like they're like running around being like
Sure.
gophers and stuff. But he wants
Runners.
them to look a certain way.
It's at $150 per girl per show, which is more money than Feature X make. If you feature, I mean, not that he's not paying his features, but like regular pay at a comedy club for a feature act is $100 a show. So these girls are making more money just to be hot.
Well, yeah, but I mean, the feature on the Kevin Hart Arena
Right,
tour
he's
is
paying them out,
Right,
yeah.
Well, then you got a side hustle, Mary.
Be a hot chick gopher? in the
Yeah, be
green
hot
room?
chick gopher on one of these stadium tours.
Maybe.
They go, so what do you do? Oh, I'm a comedian and part-time backstage gopher.
Yeah.
What would you
Probably
like me
have
to
to lose-
gopher?
Probably have to lose 20 pounds in order to meet his requirements, but
Separate catering room, private room, 55-inch televisions, single glass door refrigerators.
the TV's bigger than he is.
Mary, I could put a word in for you at Orange Theory.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Hook it up. No, I'm just lazy. That's all there is to it.
Well, there's no room for that over at Tangerine Hypothesis.
Right.
No room for laziness. Look at Poundcake. Sure, he could have come straight downtown. That would have been the easy way.
That's
That
the
would have been
lazy
the
way.
path of least resistance. That would have required the least amount of work.
I went from downtown to Downer Town, okay?
Downer. He's doing the work.
Maybe Poundcake was onto something because there was a bomb threat downtown and he was avoiding it.
God made a different way. He sent me a different path.
I mean, it wasn't anything, but, you know.
My mom says that all the time. She'd be like, maybe I avoided an accident. Maybe I wasn't meant to go that way today. And I'm like, you're just a bad driver.
You're just late. You're always late.
Well, Poundcake's way into Jesus.
Yeah.
It took him the way he needed to go.
Like Jesus. Do me like Jesus. Do me like Jesus. Do me like Jesus. Do me like Jesus.
I got to take a break. If you want to text 35192, you can watch at alancoxshow.com and listen on the iHeartRadio app.
The Alan Cox Show.
On 100.7 WMMS.